I think you just broke through a new level. I think you have a lot of discernment and you're not naive. You might have acted naive because you were letting your emotions control yourself. And it's a funny thing because you can't, especially me, I have a water moon, you might have really significant water placements. You can't always tell what's happening as far as what I'm feeling and what is going on, like even just trauma and like different things happening. Like you can't actually differentiate these feelings of what is going on for me and what is the situation. And I think you unlocked a new level of this because when you don't react from your emotions and you have this in real time understanding of what's going on, and it doesn't feel like suppression, it feels like protection. And for a long time I thought I couldn't open up or feel anything. I just had to shut down. And then I realized I'm just going to do everything. I'm going to tell everyone every thought I have, and they're just going to like me the way I am. I just saw 111. Then I came to this realization where it's more like protection. You have this discernment that you're learning throughout your experiences in your life, and like it's kind of molded you. And like I just feel like a chisel knocking off this block of like granite, and you're like sculpting it. You're just like you have this idea of what that's going to look like, but you have to really get all that off there, all the extra off there to be able to experience the art piece that you are. And it if you think about it, it kind of hurts, you know, it kind of is rough. At first it looks rough, and then you start to see this like smooth, polished version of yourself. Like, you know, like even my acne has been changing and my face has been changing, and the decisions now that I have been making are showing in my face. I was starting to get like wrinkles. I was starting to literally get wrinkles, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I was starting to feel the effects of my choices, and I think everything is reversible. I think everything is. I think it's just going to take the radicalness, the other side of the choices that you're making. It's going to take that radicalness, and over time, and you will be unrecognizable. I literally believe that. I've seen people that looked so much older when they were 32 till, and then they're older and they're like 50, and they're glowing and they're light and they have discernment. They're not we're learning that like carrying things and eating well and doing things, like there's aspects of health that work, right? Eating well, doing things that help your body, you're in your spiritual practices. But then there's this mental aspect of it. Are you just doing things to do them because you know that you get that result? Or are you doing them because you have passion and soul within you that makes you want to be there present in that yoga class? It makes you want to be there present in that conversation. You're not just there to support, you're actually enjoying the support. You're enjoying when you're giving because you're getting something out of it, but you're not thinking of it in terms of that. You're just, everyone is you. Everyone is you. And how would you treat you if you were them? Anybody in your reality. And you have to really listen to people. I like made it a goal to really listen. What do people tell on themselves? Like not in a bad way, but they tell you about themselves. And like when you get to know them long, do they contradict themselves? Like I contradict myself all the time if you're taking things out of context. Like, and sometimes I just literally feel contradicting things. But in context and in what you're saying, it's like if someone could really listen to that and you can listen to yourself, you can understand what's happening for you, and you can understand people better, and you're not going to force them into something else. Like if someone is like, you know, I don't really know if I want to go out tonight, blah blah blah, I'm kind of feeling this, you don't pressure them to immediately go out. You understand where they're at. What do they want out of this connection? Maybe they want to go out, they just don't want to go to a bar. They might want to go see the stars. You know, you could do that instead if you feel like you want to do that. If you want to go out, then you could say, okay, well, they're going home, I'm going out. You know, so it's like that you just have to understand, and that builds connection with people. And I've had to learn this. I used to feel very isolated. Like, and I meet a lot of people. I would say thousands. I think I've met thousands of people. And I was thinking about this the other day, and wow, that's a lot of people. Like, and it's like some of it was very quick interactions. I know I've made over 7,000 calls, so I've definitely talked to people, like even just here. And every interaction that I had, just in this one industry, in property management, in your job, this could relate to you, you produce love. You literally use the circumstances that you have every time you meet somebody, any person that it is, you have an opportunity to show what love looks like, what presence looks like. My biggest sales tactic is detachment. It's literally detachment. It's literally, I spend my time meditating so that eventually I'm so calm, things happen no matter what. 555. Things change. You become more prosperous. And then when something comes up, a person, or you have a lot of tours, you don't think they're gonna lease. No, you think, I want the best for them. I want the best for what they want. And that's funny. My friend just texted me, they want to go on a walk. And I was thinking, oh, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go downtown and go to a bar. I don't drink anymore, but I like to still like go out and dance. And they're like, I just want to go on a walk with you and Lila. I'm like, okay. Actually, that's what I would be doing anyways on a random night. So that's like so synchronistic. I also wanted to touch on the fact that your purpose is everything you do. You don't have to find it. You don't have to worry. It's what you're cultivating right now. You're learning everything you've ever learned from all these situations and people. You've learned so much. And you learned, my parents were an alcoholic. My parents were abusive. My parents were detached and neglectful. I don't want to be that way. I consciously don't want to be that way. What do you end up doing in your life? Those things that you saw your parents do. Controlling, all these things, right? You see yourself, you just default to those things and things that didn't work out. In your own way, you might not even recognize that you're doing it, but you're doing it. You're acting like your parents in some way. Some way. It doesn't matter what gender you are, but you take after your parents and you take things and you act them out. You're a combination of every single thing you've ever seen, every person you've ever interacted with, even the negative ones. You're a part of that. Okay? You may not do the same exact actions as them, but you have the similar tendencies to go this way. If your parents were super avoidant or if your parents were super anxious, you have tendencies to go those ways. So it's not very clear cut, like my mom was anxious, I'm anxious, like you could be disorganized, which means you're both anxious and attached in different ways depending on the situation and what you're dealing with, which is one of the most confusing ones, because you don't even know what the fuck's going on, because you thought love is attachment and it's not. Or anxious, you thought the love was the anxious attachment, and I'm not that into them if I'm avoidant, but you would be hurt if they were gone. So there's like these weird things that like happen within us, but as we go through these things, we learn the lessons. Not everybody like learns the lesson. They just keep doing things, and then they get deeper and deeper and deeper into things, and deeper and deeper and deeper unhappy, and bigger and bigger and bigger things happen to them. Illnesses, tragedies, which are unavoidable to some degree, but those deeper and deeper things happen to them, and it makes you look, like Oprah Winfrey once said, you get a little, tap on the head. Hey, maybe doing this isn't the best idea. Hey, then you get a little acorn on the head, and then you're like, well, no, I heard the acorn, but I'm having fun. I get to see things aren't working. Certain things aren't working. I'm gonna bring them in closer. I don't care. Whatever. I need connection. Then you get a fucking brick smacked on your head. You still don't fucking listen, and then you you just slam right into the brick wall, and all of your bones are broken. Then you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. So before those things happen, it's like, what are those little inklings of the universe? That was a pretty extreme example. Sorry, trigger warning after the fact. But like, that might have been something you needed to go through in the past, but as you get older, you don't have to go through crazy. You don't have to you still will go through things and there will always be learning, but I'm just saying you will get better at the game. You'll be winning more than you're losing, and you won't feel like when you have those things that it's completely devastating and you literally want to throw your entire life away. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, as you keep continuing with life, you'll have these accomplishments, whether they be emotional. I always get down on myself because I didn't have a lot of physical accomplishments, even though I did compared to a lot of people, just not for me. Like, I'm like, no, I am like boss bitch energy. You could be like a boss bitch energy, you know? And there's something else I wanted to talk about with that. But you think about your accomplishments emotionally. Think about what a better partner you're gonna be in whatever happens to you next, whatever next connection you're in, or even now your friendships. What a better person, even employee, what a better person you are to be around than before. Even just if you were, whatever, all the stuff happened to you and you're an absolute complete victim. Even now, you're more empowered. Even now, you have more power to an influence in the world. Even if you don't see what you did at all, which I don't think that's the collective I'm talking to, but like, you see what happened, you're not overly hurting yourself based on what happened, but you're understanding it. And you're a step ahead of yourself. You're a step ahead of things sometimes. Like, psychically, especially if you're incredibly psychic, which I believe you are, you're a step ahead of things, and then that's what actually creates a lot of things to be destroyed. Honestly. And then, cause I just have so many things to say. Like, moldavite is a rock that is for rapid spiritual growth, and you don't always want to carry that around because it's very intense energy, and like, you'll actually have a lot of shit happen to you and a lot of things all at once really quickly, and sometimes that's completely disorienting. It's completely disorienting, and it's like completely unstable. So yeah, you can go really, really high, but because you really went really, really high, you smack down because you're not used to flying there. So you're getting used to that. You're calibrating yourself to be able to house vibrations that are massive. You know, you're being able to feel anxiety and feel feelings when you're in the presence of other people that are massive, to where you would normally recluse and like, I can't show anybody this, or like, and I'm not saying that you're fully there, I'm saying you're finding a way to be yourself, and that's what that means, is like being yourself around others that show you and are there for you in an energetic way. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're choosing people in your life to where you're starting to become this greatest version of you, and in order to ground it and be it, you're elevating and I like oscillating into this vibration, and then you're becoming authentic. Like, you're really becoming like solid. Okay? And I forgot what I was saying right before that, but the boss ass energy bitch, the boss ass energy, you are a boss ass bitch, and you're realizing your power is magnetic. You don't have to be the center of attention in every room, because you already are in a subliminal way. Like, sometimes you actually literally are the life of the party, but you don't have to be, because when you're trying to have to be, it turns into gossip. It turns into, I saw 1333, it turns into that toxic part of egotism, where you're everything, I have to be the one in the center of the drama, and sometimes you create that, and sometimes you're the villain, or sometimes, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you want to keep talking and doing all this stuff, okay, people, you want influence and you're not getting it, you're going to subliminal, like, you want your needs met and you're not getting it, you're going to subliminally try to get them. So what you have to do is look at that. Are you really anxious? Are you starting to get really anxious? Are you starting to be really attached to an outcome? Any outcome, any section of life, any outcome. If you're like, I need to, when I would do lottery tickets, I'd be like, I need to win this, I'm a manifestor, I'm gonna win this. Never would happen, because you're way too attached to it. It's like, wait, if it's actually loving, and manifestation is detachment, what is it inside myself that I feel like I'm not getting? I wasn't even working at the time. I was buying lottery tickets. I wasn't manifesting my dreams. I wasn't going every day to my dream life. I wasn't embodying my dream life every day. I'm not going to win the lottery. People win the lottery when they're literally not thinking about it, and I've heard about that. Like, I've literally understood, like, studied this, like, and like heard about this happening. Like, people win the lottery when they're literally not even thinking about it. They have a job, they're chilling, they're literally just abundant. They're in that abundance mindset. And then some people, like, yeah, they do lose it because they don't know how to manage the money. But I'm just saying they win it in general because they're getting a gift from the universe. And a lot of people don't understand. Like, if you're used to making 60 grand a year and you are plopped millions of dollars, you will probably mismanage it. You're not used to managing that much money, or you would already have had that much money. And I'm not saying I manifested millions of dollars, but I manifested more money than I can ever spend. Like, I felt that way. Like, because I truly was like, what do I actually want? No, I don't want to just travel around to, like, Thailand with no friends. Like, I want my friends to come. Like, so I wanted to be in this area, or I wanted to be in Florida, like, that was close. So I just did whatever I wanted to do when I was making that much money. And it was disorienting because I would go to the store and I would start freaking out that I'm spending this much money, but I had thousands of dollars in my bank account. And I was just like, I can spend $300 at the fucking Calvin Klein fucking shit and get whatever the fuck I want and look sexy as fuck and do whatever the fuck I want for like months. And I did. And then what happened? I started smoking cigarettes. I started getting into drinking again and weed again, and like obsessive, like needing to have people around me and like girlfriends, and like just not that I was having girlfriends, but it was just like texting people, and like I had to like fill my addiction with something. And then I started realizing I was on that path of where I'm at now, but and this is what's happening to you. You had an overflow and you like didn't know what to do with it, so you went back to your old ways. You went back to the ways that you felt initially. Okay. So it's prick. I was like prick. It's pretty freaking amazing, is what I was about to say, because you're in this stage now where you've gone through that phase and you've gone through the negative part of that, and now you're balancing out, and that's where we want to be. I always thought it was stupid to be balanced. I was like, no, let's fucking go. But then what happens when you go for it and go hard and stay up all night for like days? You then have to recover. It doesn't feel like that in the moment, but that's what every addict thinks. You have to recover from that. And if you can get yourself to think, I have to pay for this extra energy that I'm saying, like, let's go out, I'm pretty tired, but I'm gonna pump some caffeine, I'm gonna drink an energy drink at like 9:30 p.m. and we're gonna stay up all night and we're gonna fucking talk to all these people and dance with all these girls and have so much fun. And like, yeah, it was fun, but the other times I was missing bills, I was not performing well at work, I was sad all the time, you know? And I was like messing up real connections because I wasn't being sensitive at all to myself. So I couldn't be sensitive to other people, and I couldn't feel my emotions. That was the biggest thing. I really couldn't feel anything. I couldn't process anything like fully. And I have a lot of shit that comes up. So that feels like you have to take that responsibility for your life. You know? Do you get really friends really quickly and then something happens and you're just not friends anymore and like never are friends again? I used to do that a lot, not gonna lie. Like, I would have like my favorite people for like a short amount of time, and then something would happen, and then I would just like, oh fuck, we're not friends anymore, you know? But I would do that multiple times throughout my life. So there's something changing now where it's like, see everything for what it is, feel your emotions on your own accord, and understand yourself. When you're in that space and you're able to do that with yourself, you're able to be more authentic with others. You're able to show up in that way, and you're able to be what you actually are too. So you're showing people what you are, so you're not misguiding people. You're not manipulating them either. You're like, this is who I am. You know, you're just showing up as that. This is an in progress version of me. I know where I'm going. Not everyone can understand where you're going, and you don't really have to talk about it. That's the thing, because they don't want, anybody in reality is not going to want too much of the future talking, because you're not going to be able to create it, because you're going to think you're creating it and you're not actually doing anything. You're just talking about it. So you have to still do it. You know, I started talking about more things, and then I stopped making my videos because one thing didn't post. Okay, well, I missed a couple days, but what? You just stopped the whole company? You just stopped the whole vision? Like, this is not a tarot reading channel. This is practice. This is influence. This is how do I get these thoughts into very concise segments of information? How do I get this experience into digestible things in a form that's going to seep into your developing mind in a positive way? That's the goal, in a way. And I'm doing it right now. So it's like, yes, just keep doing what you want. Go, if you're moving, you start saving now because you know it's happening. Okay? You know things are happening. So act as if you're in that reality. You already are influencing, so I'm making videos. I would pretty much be making them every day. If I'm influencing people, I'm making videos. And you know what started happening? I started getting leases out of fucking nowhere. I started getting less work and more money. And I physically started this job knowing I was supposed to make half of what I used to make, and I have more savings and more investments than I've ever had in my life. And I was making technically double more of what I thought. I'm not limiting it to say, oh, I'm only gonna make this much, because shit just happens out of nowhere and then I just get paid all this extra money and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This shit works. Like, it literally works. You do not have to stay in a place that's making you unhappy or uncomfortable. You do not have to put up with shit, and especially superiors that do not trust you, like you, blah, blah, blah. You can switch relationships around. You can have heart to hearts. You don't have to manipulate to be like in control. You don't have to manipulate to be like getting treated well. It's how you are. If you're being authentic, and that can change over time, but if you're actually just telling people what you need, you'll find out real quick if that's a job or not for you, first of all. Then you have to make hard decisions to then have more opportunities. When they do come in, you can say yes to them because they feel like the right decision. I went with this new company that I work for because of how they dealt with people after the hurricane. That's why I left the other job that I did. And that was more aligned with me. And I saw 2-2-2-2. And it's working out better 9 months later. And this whole time, it helped me this whole time. But like, if I just think about just from then to now, and it did help me the entire time, never actually had a problem. Everybody was there for me when I needed something, when I was going through things. Everybody was there. My coworkers were the correct coworkers at those times. Everything was perfect. So you will be taken care of. It might not look exactly the fucking same. You might not go to the same gym. You might not go to drive the same fucking thing. But eventually, you'll be in a better spot to than where you were. Then you can get another car. If you start making that much money again, you can get the same fucking car if you want. Like I'm just saying, and maybe you won't even want that. But it's like we're so fixed on the reality. Let people go. If they're supposed to be around you and you still miss them, try to just make up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can. There's certain people I miss that I can't make up with, but whatever. That's just how it is. But just reevaluate. Look at what you done. Look at what you done and you did, and understand why. And then see everything for what it is right now. And you're able to move forward. If you're unhappy, that's when you're like, oh shit, I'm really unhappy. Oh shit, this person that I'm sleeping next to is not emotionally attuned with me at all. And that's the most important thing for everything in my life, especially relationships. Like, you have to make those hard decisions. I'm sorry, and it's gonna suck. I'm sorry in advance, and I want to hold space for that. And there's other videos on this channel, and right now, let's hold the space for that. It's gonna suck. I understand this. Like, you're gonna feel confused. And you're gonna think, did I make the right decision? But you do, because you know you can't make wrong decisions. You know in your body, in your intuition, what you need to do. What's right, what's wrong. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Like, you can feel it in your body. Like, one time, this one situation, I was just completely shut off. I was like, oh, that's a no for me. like you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like your spirit, if you have a bigger mission that you're getting pulled towards, a better version of you, a healthier version, a more living with purpose version of you, if you have that and you're going back to that in your mind, in your imagination, and in your imagination is images. It's your future. If you're making that really clear and understanding and you're making decisions towards that, you will get there. You will have another thing that you want, but to start being there, is making decisions that suck. They suck. And you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna be unsightly and you're gonna show your ass. But you need to do that. You need to be a messy human. I'm telling you, it's gonna suck. And I just want to make it like radical acceptance. Like everything you're feeling is okay. You might have to move out and live on the fucking your friend's couch. I don't know. But don't be afraid. Because it could be an adventure. It could be, it's gonna suck, but come back, because this is who I'm talking to, because I just went fucking through this shit. And I used to be homeless. Like, it was not easy, but I had always a vision. I dropped out of college because I had a vision. And it sucked, and I was dragged through the mud for years. But I'm starting to realize, oh, you don't have to suffer unknowingly. When you're connected with people that are abundant and have gone through these things, you automatically. I didn't watch tarot readers when I was fucking 19. After I was just in a crazy situation, sleeping on my friend's couch. I just knew I had to get the fuck out of there and get away from this fucking guy that was just sucking my energy dry. And I was allowing it to happen because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I'm saying, this is okay. You might have to go through cycles. It's okay. I love you guys. Because you are me. And you're doing your shit. Okay. Have a great day. I don't even want to leave on that. Let's just create a little bit more peace and love before you go. It's okay. There's hundreds of videos. There's gonna be hundreds of videos of me by the time you see this, probably. Because if you felt like, oh, I need more of that energy, you can just click on another one that resonates. But just really do what I'm saying. Feel this feeling and ask, God, I need you to help every single person listening to this and watching to this. I need you to walk every single person with their highest permission. Just God, I need you to show them. I need their spirit guides and my spirit guides to show everybody individually their way. Everyone has a set of guides. Everyone has God. God, show us all the way. It will work. Help make these decisions with as much grace as possible, as less overthinking as possible. Make it neutral. Try your best, please, God. Make it neutral. Only allow me to have to go through the things I need to go through so that I can get to the next level. I don't want to go through any unnecessary pain. I'm going through the things just enough. We're not suffering. We're going through just enough pain to go, ow. Okay, other way. It's okay. There's so many people there for you. And you'd never know how many people can heal and come back into your life. Don't think of it as never again. Just think of it as, who knows? Who knows? And when time goes by, you might feel differently. Who knows? Just allow yourself this time to follow your path. Follow God. Because God ultimately wants you to have your highest idealized life where your purpose is fully lived out. That's the purpose of this entire world, is expansion. And then God itself is expand, expand, expand in a natural way. Okay? It's natural and your purpose to be happy and abundant. It's not going to feel like that when you're making decisions, but it's determination. It's it's this grit that you'll have, decisions and discipline to know I'm making these decisions that are hard because I'm ultimately getting peace forever. and people that will actually be there for me holistically because I'm seeing them for who they are and they're seeing me for who I am because I'm being who I am supposed to be. And you have to make those decisions to get there. All right. Love you. Bye.